Encyclopedia Brown is a mystery series for children. Each book has 10 short stories, with the solution to the mysteries written in the back. When I was a little kid, I would always flip to the back of the book and read the mystery solutions first, because I was a little cheater and I liked to pretend I could solve every mystery on my own. The mystery solutions generally focus on a contradiction or an error, like a left-handed culprit with a right-handed baseball glove. It's all well and good when the mystery solution is inside the story itself. What always annoyed me was when the mystery solution requires you to know a random piece of trivia ahead of time. Like Encyclopedia Brown knows this Russian artifact is fake because St. Petersburg changed its name in 1914. You can't expect grade schoolers to know that sort of stuff. I hated those particular mystery solutions, but I still love the Encyclopedia Brown series. I'll be using a different grading system for these books. Instead of rating each book as a whole, I'm going to rate each individual mystery, with special focus on the solutions. So if the mystery is good, it gets 1 point. If it's bad, no points. If it's somewhere in between, I'll give it half a point. I'm going to add up all the points at the end to get the book a final score. So, with that minute-and-a-half introduction out of the way, let's get started with Encyclopedia Brown.
Argofont Book Review, Argofont Book Review.
Case 1 explains that Leroy Brown is so smart, everyone calls him Encyclopedia Brown. His father is the chief of police. Chief Brown has no problems discussing confidential police matters with his family, so he tells them all about the store that was robbed today. The store owner says the culprit was Natty Nat, a thief who is easily recognized by his trademark gray trench coat with a belt in the back. Encyclopedia notes the store owner only saw the front of the thief, not the back. Therefore, he couldn't have seen the trademark gray belt. So he couldn't have known it was Natty Nat? That store owner is a liar! This is the only mystery that doesn't have the solution written in the back, but it's still a good one, and it sets the tone for the rest of the book. In Case 2, Encyclopedia decides to start his own detective agency. He gets his first client at the end of a rainy day. The client claims a bully named Bugs Meany stole his tent. Get used to Bugs Meany, we're gonna see him a lot in this series. They go to the tent. The client says he put up the tent a week ago, while Bugs says he put it up this morning. Encyclopedia knocks some cards on the ground and says, "They're not muddy. Bugs must be lying about when the tent was set up." How does Encyclopedia know? The solution explains it's because the cards aren't muddy, which is the exact same thing Encyclopedia said in the story itself. The idea is that the ground should be muddy. If the tent was set up in the rain, it was dry, therefore the tent was set up much earlier. You get the idea, but I'm knocking off a half point for this story because the solution is the same as the story, just worded differently. In Case 3, Bugs Meany says he's got a sword belonging to Stonewall Jackson. According to the inscription on the sword, it was given to him a month after the first battle of Bull Run. Encyclopedia calls it a fake. Why? Well, no one called it the first battle until after the second battle occurred. Duh. Also, where did Bugs get a sword, and how was he able to make an inscription for it? That's the real mystery here. In Case 4, we meet Sally Kimball. She's the most athletic kid in school, to the point that she can easily beat up Bugs Meany, even though he's several years older than her. She tries to outsmart Encyclopedia with a trick mystery. So here's her mystery. She says a famous trapeze artist named the Great Mirko died. The will stated all of the money would go to Mirko's oldest grandson. In court, a man claims to be the grandson, but Mirko's grandniece counterclaims that Mirko is not that man's grandfather. Who won the trial? The solution is that they're both right. Mirko isn't the man's grandfather. Mirko is the man's grandmother. Good trick solution, but the judge would have already known Mirko's gender ahead of time, making this a rather pathetic attempt to fool everyone in court. Still, Sally is an awesome character, so Encyclopedia makes her his partner in the detective business. In Case 5, there's a bank robbery. The robber puts the money in a bag and runs away. He collides with a blind man, and they roll around on the ground for a bit. The robber gets up, keeps running, but when the police catch him, his bag is full of food. Where did the money go? It's pretty obvious that the thief collided with the blind man on purpose so he could switch out bags, but the police aren't smart enough to figure that out. Neither is Encyclopedia, strangely. Normally he'd call out the mystery solution right away, but instead he decides to question the blind man to see if there are any clues about the robber's identity. When Encyclopedia sees a newspaper on the chair by the reading lamp, he realizes the blind man is a phony. Why? Blind people can't read. Good mystery solution, but how stupid is this criminal? He bought and read a newspaper while pretending to be blind? That's practically asking to be exposed. In case 6, John Abbott is accused of robbing a bake shop. Chief Brown stops by John's house. John places his barefoot nephew on top of a car and says, "Oh no, officer, I can't be the thief. I've been driving all day. I just got back 5 minutes ago." Encyclopedia says he's lying. Why? If he'd been driving for an hour and a half, the hood of the car would still be hot. Too hot for a barefoot child. I wanted to give this mystery solution 0 points for being flat out wrong. 5 minutes is more than enough time for a car's hood to cool off. Besides, the car could have a good cooling system, and there's no reason to assume this child is particularly sensitive to heat. But when I polled people on the internet, the majority of them agreed that this is a legitimate mystery solution. So I will give it half a point instead of 0 points. In case 7, Chief Brown guards a woman with a valuable necklace. She lies down in a bedroom while he stands guard outside. She screams and there are 2 gunshots. By the time Chief Brown enters, the necklace is gone. The woman says it was stolen, but she fainted before she saw the thief. Encyclopedia says she faked the entire robbery. He knows this because her cover story was really stupid. If she didn't see the thief, why did she scream and faint? I'm noticing the majority of these cases are criminals with horrible alibis. Case 8, Mr. Patch caught somebody robbing his store. The boy stabbed a knife in a watermelon, then ran away. Mr. Patch saw the boy had a distinctive gray trench coat with a belt in the back. Wait, no, that was case number 1. He saw the boy had a distinctive jacket with an L on the back, indicating he's in a gang called the Lions. Encyclopedia takes the watermelon to the Lions. He pretends he's fingerprinted the knife in hopes of getting one of them to confess. They all start accusing each other. Frank has a knife like that. John touched a knife recently. Buster lost his knife. And Corky says his knife is a half-inch longer than the one in the watermelon. Encyclopedia quickly catches Corky, because only the culprit would know how long the knife is. I think that's the other half of the mystery solutions. Culprits incriminating themselves unnecessarily. If they denied everything and said nothing, they'd get away with their crimes. In case 9, someone steals a pair of roller skates while Encyclopedia is at the dentist's office. Encyclopedia decides the culprit must be a child, because if adults were suspects, this case would be way too difficult. Sloppy detective work, Encyclopedia. Only one boy visited the medical complex that day. Encyclopedia accuses him, but he denies it. He claims he doesn't know Dr. Vivian or his dentist's office. Encyclopedia goes, "Aha! You just incriminated yourself. How did you know Dr. Vivian is male?" Oh, we're doing the gender trick again? You can't do that twice in the same book and expect readers to accept it. That's sloppy mystery writing, just repeating the same trick. The other incriminating piece of evidence is that the culprit knows Dr. Vivian is a dentist, not a doctor, which is pretty much the same trick, but different enough, so I'm giving this case half a point. You might have noticed that the culprit isn't given a chance to explain how he knows Vivian's gender and profession. He could probably come up with a good excuse, but no, every culprit in this series confesses at the first sign of trouble. In case 10, there's a boy who spins eggs. He challenges the other boys to egg-spinning contests, and he wins every time. He must be cheating, but how? The solution is that he's clearly using a hard-boiled egg. Those spin longer than uncooked eggs every time. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier when I said some mystery solutions are random trivia. Survey says no points for this. The book tries to justify this mystery solution because someone says they should sweep up a broken egg when they should say clean up the egg. Yeah, that hints at the fact the egg is hard-boiled, but it's not so much solid proof as it is arguing semantics. And that's it for the first book. My score for Encyclopedia Brown number 1, Encyclopedia Brown Boy Detective, is a 7.5 out of 10.